Okay, so we're doing spiral 6. It is 2:25, and most parents are gone. I have a couple hours to finish this. And let's start with the first question. So pretty much you'll see a little bit of everything. The set of real numbers shown below is a subset of which of the following? So remember, are these all rational numbers? Yes, right? Because remember, real numbers are divided into, we have the rational on one side, and we have the irrational, but definitely these are not the irrationals, these are the rational numbers. So definitely they're rational numbers. Well, they're not irrationals. They're not whole numbers. I think I just gave you the answers. And they're not all integers. This is an integer, and that's it, the only integer. So they all are, but at least they're all rational numbers. What is the value of the expression below? So remember, this absolute value sign serves almost works as a parenthesis. So you should take care of that inside first. So it's -3. And 6 minus 10 is -4, so you get -4. And I'm going to leave the absolute value sign there for a little bit. Plus 4. Am I recording this? 1 second. And I am.
Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, it is approximately 2:25 p.m. For those parents and families that still need to visit with teachers, please know that everyone will be wrapping up in 5 minutes. If you would like to continue or meet with anyone this evening, we will have parent-teacher conferences from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Well, yay. So, now that you've done this, -3, and now we can take the absolute value. The absolute value of -4 is 4, so I'm going to change that to just 4. Plus 4, -3 times 4 is -12, and if we add 4, -12 plus 4, and the negatives are more, and we got -8. We're going to 2. What is a natural number? Well, natural number are the same thing as the counting numbers. So, long time ago, the first set of numbers, we started with the natural numbers, and the first natural number was 1, 2, 3. These are also known as your counting numbers, right? 7, 8. 0 didn't. The 0 was a concept that was created much later. So the first set of numbers are your natural or counting numbers, and the only number that belongs in there is this one. So that's 4 is a natural number. This is not, definitely not. Which of the following expression is not equivalent to -7? Well, let's just take care of each one by one. -4 minus -3, this is definitely -7. So remember, you can change that to an addition. So now you can tell that -4 plus another -3 is -7. So that is -7. This one, absolute value of -4 minus 3. So let's take the absolute value. -4 minus 3, we just found out, is -7. And if I take the absolute value of that, it's 7. So guess what? This is not equal to -7. So definitely this one. Do I even have to do the rest? Well, let's do the rest just in case. So over here, we're going to do negative, and then 4 plus 3 is 7, right? Inside the parentheses. And remember, there's a 1 outside. -1 times 7 is -7. So this one is -7. There's a minus sign on the outside of the absolute value. So let's do 4 plus 3 inside. 4 plus 3 inside is 7, right? And what's the absolute value of 7? 7. And now that we attach the minus sign, that also becomes -7. So this is -7, -7, and -7. This is the only one that is a 7. So A was correct. Denver, Colorado is called the Mile High City because its elevation is 5,280 feet above sea level. Someone tells you that the elevation of Death Valley, California is 282. So let's put Denver, Colorado way up here. Denver, right? On this line over here. And this is 5,280 feet. So this, let's make this 0 because it's sea level. And Death Valley is over here, -282. Obviously, this is not to scale. So, is Death Valley located above or below sea level? Well, definitely above sea level, and you can explain that because it's up here, right? Below sea level would be below 0, and above sea level is up here. So that one, it's pretty easy. How many feet higher is Denver than Death Valley? So, if you were at Death Valley right here, and you had to walk all the way up here to Denver, what would be the distance? So you think about it, think about distance, and distance can't be 0. If you were at negative 282 and you had to go to 0, you would take 282 steps, right? And then from 0 to Denver, you would take another 5,280. So if I were to add these two, total number of steps that I would take would be 5,562. So that's how much higher it is. What would your elevation be if you were standing near the standing near the ocean? If you were right about here, your elevation would be 0. You would be at 0 feet above ground. 7. Evaluate. Actually, just 7. So again, you guys will have a calculator, so don't get too stressed out with these questions. But you still need to know the order, right? So let's do this one. Identify the numbers, and I'm gonna try to make this a little bigger. I don't know why I make it small. Identify the numbers that makes each statement true. You may select more than one number for each statement. So negative 4 plus something equals a positive number. Well, it has to be a number greater than negative 4. So that works, right? So if you think about it, if I put a 5 over here, they're more positive, so therefore I'm going to have a positive answer. So that works, and this also works. So something minus 1, minus 1.5 equals a negative number. So over here, I'm going to look for a number that's smaller than 1.5, and I'm going to look for, how about a negative here? I can use a negative, anything that's negative, because if I get, let's use negative 5 as an example. Negative 5 minus 1.5, it's negative 5 plus negative 1/2, right? So I'm adding two negatives together, so my answer has to be negative. So any negative would have worked here for B. For C, obviously a number plus 5 equals 0. That should be an equal sign. That the only number that's going to make that happen is going to be its additive inverse, which is negative 5. And negative 2.15 minus a number equals a negative number. So negative 2.15 minus, and over here I want to put any of these numbers right here. This works, and this works. So I'm gonna put 5 over here in the box, 5. So if I put 5 over here, think of what that means. It's negative 2.15 plus, I'm gonna change that to addition, right? And that becomes negative 5, right? Because we're really adding a negative number. So that would give me a negative answer. So anything that 5 would work, 3.5 would work, and 4.9 would work. Oh, I have to do number 4. And for number 4, I can just do it. So we gotta do this part right here. And what I am going to do, I'm going to 7 plus 0.25. Let's do this. I'm going to just pull this to the side. It's negative 2/3 times negative 15. If I simplify, I can cut. Let me put this over 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So it's a negative times a negative. And negative 2 times negative 5. All right, back to this. So I was doing, so if negative times a negative is a positive, and negative 2 times negative 5. So this is going to be 10 inside. I'll put that back, and this was outside, and this was outside, minus half. Instead of half, because I don't want to deal with fractions, I'm going to write 0.5. So order of operations, now I'm going to take care of these two guys over here. 7 plus 0.25 times 10 is same thing as saying what's 1/4 of 10, and 1/4 of 10 is 2.5 minus 0.5. 7 plus 2.5 is 9.5, and if I subtract that, hopefully, and there we go, our answer is going to be 9. 9.5 minus 0.5 is 9. You still need to know the order in order to enter this in your calculator. So even though you have a calculator, don't don't assume. So 14 minus 1.6 may also be expressed as which of the following. So first of all, 14 minus 1.6 is 12.4. So I know that this equals 12.4. So which of these also gives me 12.4? So 7 minus 1.6 is 5.2, 5.4, right? If I multiply 5.4, and let's just multiply 5. Forget the 4.4 for now. 5 times 14 is definitely bigger than 12.4. All right, so this is definitely not the answer. B, if I subtract 7 minus 0.8, I'm gonna have 6.2. And if I multiply 6.2 times 2, and you can do this in your calculator, you'll see that this equals to 12.4. So right away, I know it's B. Okay. The other ones, they will not result in your answer. No, what's going on. Pause this. So 12, what is solution to the equation? Oh, finally. So we have find that first equation. What is the solution to this? So I'm going to work that problem over here. Negative 3, 4x plus 7 equals 5x plus 3. So remember your steps here. Do we have anything to combine? Any combining like terms? No, but there is a distributive property. So let's take care of that. So actually, I should have done that first, right? So negative 12x minus 21 equals 5x plus 6. Can I combine any terms? No, but I have variables on both sides, so let's get rid of one of them, and it really doesn't matter which one. So I'm just gonna get rid of the 5x, and that's positive 5x. I'm going to do minus 5x, and I'm going to do minus 5x over here. Negative 12x minus 5x is negative 17x. Be very careful. Minus 21, and these two cross out, becoming 0, plus 6. So those of you who remember, here's my story. I have a variable x, and it's being multiplied by negative 17. And then I'm adding, I'm subtracting 21. That gives me 6. Going back here, I'm going to do plus 21, divide by negative 17, and we should have our answer. So let's do that first. It's okay. So let's do plus 21. Plus 21 on both sides. These two cross out. I have 27. And this is going to be negative 17x. Right? Now I have to divide by negative 17. So I'm going to divide by negative 17 and divide by negative 17 over here. Negative 17 divided by negative 17 gives me x. And this, I'm not even going to change it or anything. I'm just going to leave it as negative, 27 over negative 17. It doesn't matter where the negative comes. This whole thing is negative. So it's 27 over 17 negative. Is there anything that says 27 over 17? It's the only one. It's right here. A. 9. A recipe calls for 2/3 cup of water to make 2.5 cups of sauce. So if I have, I'll pause this. Okay, so I have no idea where I was. So let me write this down. 2/3 cup. So I can set a proportion here, right? 2/3 butter makes me 2.5 cups of sauce. That's basically, oh wow. So I want 10 cups of sauce. How much butter will I need? Jeez. So it's 2.5 or 2.5. So you know the relationship is times 4, right? So I can multiply this times 4. So let's just multiply 2/3 times 4, and I'm gonna get 8/3, which obviously they did not leave as 8/3, and they left it at 2 and 2/3. Is there anything that says 2 2/3? Yes, there is. 10. We have to solve this first and then find a solution. Well, we don't have to. We could plug in a number, but let's just solve it anyway. So it's 2x minus 6 greater than x plus 3. So let's do the distributive properly. We get 4x. And then positive and negative, negative 12 greater than x plus 3. We have variables on both sides, so let's get rid of this guy, right? So I'm going to do minus x, then minus x on this side. Let me make a little wall over here. So that's 3x. I'm just going to write over here 3x minus 12 greater or equal, and these two cross out, plus 3. Now it becomes a very simple two-step equation. You can do your little plan here. You have a variable x, which is being multiplied times 3, and then minus 12. That's going to be greater or equal to 3. I'm going to do plus 12, and then divide by 3. So let's do plus 12. So 3x is greater or equal to 3, right? And then we're going to divide both sides by 3, divide this by 3, divide this by 3. So x has to be greater or equal to 1. Did I do something wrong? Because I don't see that answer. Oh, of course not, because I did it incorrectly. So here's where my mistake is. I forgot to add plus 12 on this side. So we get 3x greater or equal to 15. Divide this by 5, divide that by 5, and x is greater or equal to 3. There we go. We're going to shade the 3. This is the only one that the positive 3 shaded. And where are we aiming this? We're aiming this that way. So this correct answer is B. Alright, hang on. Thanks. Wait, I got it. Alright. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't like Wednesdays. Man. So let's go to 14. Actually 10. So what's the value of the expression when x equals yikes? So again, you will have a calculator, so at least substitute. So it's 2 times, no, 7.2 plus 2/3, and then parentheses negative 3, right? Because that's the z value. And then minus 8 times, and the y value is 3/4. I'll put in parentheses. This is your expression. I can do it without calculator. So 2 times 7.2 is 14.4. Plus, and this one, these two will simplify, right? Becomes 1 and 1. And this becomes a positive times a negative. So let me erase this. Positive times a negative is going to be a negative. Right? Positive times a negative is going to be a negative. And 2 times 1 is 2. And minus, and again, this is a negative times a positive, so definitely a negative, but I can simplify here. And 2 times 3 is 6. So this is what I have at the end of the day. 14.4 minus 2 is 12.4. And 12.4 minus 6 is 6.4. And we have our answer right here. 14. The department store is having a sale with a 25% discount. The sales tax is 8%. How much change will Frank receive from 800? So he's paying with 800. If he purchases a mattress regularly priced at 895, so you're buying something that's 895. So there's your price, right? And you're going to, let's find the discount. The discount's 25%, so I'm going to multiply this by 0.25. So let's find out what the discount price is. And let's get a calculator. What? No. Ginger ale.
Ginger ale, the big one you have, or just the regular size?
Bottle.
Nothing?
Yeah. Thank you.
Ginger ale?
So 895. 895 times 0.25 equals, shoot. 895 times 0.25 equals 220. Wow, that's a huge discount. $223.75. So that's your discount. So let's go to your price. You had $895 minus 223.75. It's going to give you. So your mattress now is priced at $671.25. So you've received your discount and now you got to pay tax on it. So let's find out what the tax is. 671.25 and go multiply by 0.08. You can do it the other way if you like. You know, it gets you the price right away. So 671.25 times 0.08 means that your taxes are going to be $53.70. If you add now the price of the mattress, which is $671.25 plus the tax, which is $53.7, you should get the final price of $671.25. 671.25 plus 53.7. That's going to give us a grand total of $724.95. So that's your total price, and that makes sense because now the guy is handing them $800 in cash. This is the price of the mattress, so he's going to get some change. That's going to give him $75.05 in change. Okay. A lot of work, yeah, but good question. The statement, the sum of twice of number, so twice the number. So I'm just going to not even look at the multiple choice. So the sum of twice a number, here's twice a number, and 18, so twice a number plus 18, is greater than 25. So does anything look like this? Twice a number plus 18 equals greater. So this is gone, has to be greater. Twice a number plus 20 plus 18. Sorry, plus 18 is greater than 25. So there's the only one that looks like that's this. 19. Find three consecutive integers, consecutive even integers, such that the sum of the smallest integer and twice the second is 12 more than the third. So first of all, let's establish our integers. So here's my first integer, my first even integer. X, the second one's going to be x plus 2, and the third one's going to be x plus 4. Right? So here's my three even numbers in order, such that the sum of the smaller integer, which is x, plus twice the second, so 2 times the second, and here's my first, my second, and my third, so I multiply 2 times the second number, which is x plus 2, is equal sign 12 more, which is plus, than the third number, and the third number is x plus 4. So this is the expression you have to set up based on this information. So x, let's do the distributive property, 2x, they're all positive, so that's easy, plus 4, equals 12 plus x plus 4. So let's find all this out. So 2x plus 3x, we can combine like terms, it's 3x plus 4. On this side, I can combine the 12 and 4, it gives me 16 plus x. Let's get rid of one of the x's, right? There's one on each side, so let's go minus x over here. Minus x over here. So we're going to get 3x minus x is 2x plus 4. These two are garbage, so 16. So that's a very easy two-step equation. Story, I have a variable x, which is being multiplied by 2. Plus 4 equals 16. Going backwards, I'm going to use the inverse operation, which is minus 4 divided by 2. So minus 4 first on each side. And I get 2x equals 12 minus 4 is 12. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 6. So my first even integer is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8 is the second, and then 6 plus 4 makes the third even integer 10. Which equation can be used to solve the problem below? 4 times the number, so let's write 4 times the number, is increased by 15, which means plus 15. The result is 3 less, so again, 3 less than 6 times the number. 3 less than 6 times the number. Just remember, less than is a turnaround word, so this actually is 6n minus 3. So I can put this here. Is there any multiple choice that looks like this? 4n or 4x plus 15 equals, there we go. except that they use X and I use N. 20, the mean of three numbers is 25, so the mean of three numbers, so X plus Y plus Z divided by 3 equals 25, so that's what you should write. Three numbers, mean means average, right? So we are adding them up and dividing by however many in the data set, which in this case is 3. So, and the second number is 4 less than twice the sum. So let me use this. Now the first number, second number, and third number. It says that the second number is 4 less than twice the first. And so this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So 4 less than twice the first, and the first is called X. But you know that less than, what do you call that? Less than is a turnaround, so 4 minus 2 actually is going to turn into 2X minus 4. The third number, which is Z, the third number is 2 more. It's 2 more than 4 times the first. 4 times the first, which is 2 plus 4x. So now I can rewrite all these in terms of x. So instead of writing x plus y plus z, I'm going to write x, the first number. The second number, instead of y, I'm going to change that to 2x minus 4. So plus 2x minus 4. And instead of z, I'm going to write plus 2 plus 4x. Right? So now the beauty of this is that everything's in terms of x, and I don't have to. There's only one variable. So let's do this. On the top, can I simplify this? Yeah, I can. So I'm going to write x plus x is 2x plus 4x is 6x. And 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 4 is 0. So I have 6x on top over 3 equals 25. If I can simplify, I can simplify this. This becomes 2x, right? So 6 divided by 3, so I get 2x equals 25, and x equals, what do you call it, 12.5. I divide this by 2, divide this by 2, x equals 12.5. So now I can use this information. So I know x is 12.5. So I'm going to go here and substitute. So I get 2 times 12.5 minus 4. 2 times 12.5 is 25, minus 4 is 21. So y is 21. And z, the third number, is 2 plus 4x. So I'm going to do 2 plus 4 times 12.5. And that's 12.5, which is 25, that's 50. And that's, and 4 times 12.5 is 50. And 50 plus 2 is 52. So here are my three numbers, 12.5, 21, and 52. 17. Mr. Smith wrote 8 less than 3 times the number, I'm going to use x, is greater than 15 on the board. So, remember that less than here is a turnaround word, so I'm going to write 3x minus 8 is greater than 15. Is there any expression that looks like this? And let's see if there's anything that looks like that. There is. Number 21. 21. Let's make it smaller. Bonnie knows the probability can be represented as a fraction between and including 0 and 1. So, right, 0 all the way to 1. This means impossible. This means certain. Half over here would be likely as not, or just 50% chance. This is half over here, as likely as not. Right, so let's see which one. What is the probability of this event? The spinner lands on a section labeled 4. Well, there's 2 sections labeled 4 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6, or 1/3. What does it mean to have a probability of 0? Well, it means that an example was the spinner landing on the number 3. In this case, right, there is no number 3, so the probability of that happening is definitely 0. Describe a spinner event that would have a probability of 0, and I just did that. So the probability of landing on 1, and the probability of landing on 6, it's Just not going to happen. What does it mean to have probability of 1? That for sure it's going to happen, right? Describe a spinner event that would have a probability of 1. What is the probability of this spinner landing on a 2 or a 4 or a 5? What's the probability that any of those three will happen? So if you spin a spinner, if it lands on a 2, a 4, or 5, you're a winner. Would that for sure happen? Yes, it would. 20 something. 2, I can't see. Crystal is playing a game with a spinner shown below. It's Crystal's turn to spin the arrow. What is the probability that the arrow will land on a number that is both odd and shaded? So that's odd and shaded, 7. 5 is odd and shaded. This is odd and shaded. So there are 3 numbers that fit that category. 3 numbers that are odd and shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you simplify that, it becomes 1/3. There's our answer. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Please check your answers because I like some of these questions here. You might just get a couple of them as a quiz. Pause. Stop.